Hi, this is Board Northeast, and today I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on how to remove and clean your skateboard longboard bearings. Before I start, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our channel. Every week we'll be reviewing different types of boards such as longboards, skateboards, pennyboards, ripsticks and many others. Not only will we just do completes, we will also review a wide variety of parts like trucks, wheels, etc. Tutorials will also be given on how to service your board and how to ride them, as they all use different techniques. If you like this video, like, subscribe and leave a comment. Basically what is needed is WD-40. This cleans, protects and also lubricates. You can get this from any local hardware store. Next you'll need toilet roll or kitchen roll. This will take all the residue out of your bearings. A small-headed screwdriver is needed to pry the bearing shield out. You can also use this to remove grit or dirt from the bearing. To take off the bolt you need a 13mm bolt attachment. Basically on the back it has a little fitting that fits into our next bit of equipment, a bolt-headed screwdriver. It basically fits in like that, and you put it on the bolt and turn it anti-clockwise and it should remove the bolt. A pottery box can fit your bolts and your spacers in. And finally, the board, the wheels and the bearings. This is the Sean White Dawn Patrol. The bearings are ABEC 9s and they have not been cleaned in a very long time, so expect them to be pretty minging. And there's a quick example of a bearing. The first bit of equipment you'll need is the bolt-ended screwdriver. I wouldn't recommend using anything else, especially not adjustable screwdrivers or shifters, as they will round off your bolt. If you do round off your bolt, to remove it you'll probably have to wreck your axle or remove the axle, which is probably one of the worst case scenarios. Make sure you have your box at hand so you don't lose anything. Make sure when you're taking the wheel off, if you are riding dual spacers, that you don't lose the space on top, as you can see just there. I'll quickly show you one of the spacers. There should be one underneath as well. This improves the ride of your board. And if you do have one of these and you take them off, you may end up with a slightly buckled wheel. To take the actual bearings off the wheel, you have to basically pry them off like you will have to do with the bearing shield. You put it on your axle and bend it like so. If it doesn't come off this easily, I would lubricate your axle or the actual wheel itself, as if you do bend the axle, that'll be another case of a buckled wheel. Once you've done that, do the other one as well, and then once you've got your wheel, I would get a paper towel or something like that and just clean the inside like this. Once you've done that with it, you leave the toilet roll and you clear a little bit of space and put your bearing in the centre of the table. This next task you'll need a small-headed screwdriver. Basically put it in the middle and then pry the bearing outwards, the bearing shield, and then it should come off. I wouldn't recommend using anything else, as you may dent the bearing shield. If you do, don't bother putting it back on, don't bother trying to fix it because you'll just make it worse. Just leave the shield off. You don't need a shield, but you just have to take a little bit more care, as they may rust a little bit easier if you leave it outside or get them wet. Do that for both sides and then you should be left with 2 bearing shields and your core bearings. Once you've done that, you get your screwdriver and make sure you've got all the little bits of grit out of your bearings. Even a teensy little bit of grit can affect the whole performance of your bearing. So you're basically getting every nook and cranny that you can get into. So you've done that, you get a couple of pieces of toilet roll and just go around and clean the bearing. Another way to clean the bearings is you basically you do the same thing as I've done, except you don't clean them like that. You wash them with water and people go, oh no, don't do that, but as they will rust. But if you dry them with compressed air after you've wet them, then they shouldn't rust at all. Compressed air, basically a hairdryer. And then once you do that, you'll get just as good performance, and it's probably a little bit easier than this, because basically all you'll need is the same equipment, just a hairdryer and some water. Make sure if you get, that's the only reason why you should use water. Don't use water for anything else, or that actually will rust and just completely wreck your bearings. I tried it once and it just, they just didn't spin whatsoever. After that, you'll need to put it on a bit of toilet paper and get your WD-40 out. As I said, you can get this at any hardware store. It's really handy stuff. And basically all you need to do is give it 3 sprays. 1, 2, 3. And then spin it over so both sides gets a good licking of WD-40. And then 3 sprays on the other side. That should do the trick. I would recommend after you do this just to roll your bearing about a little bit, just to, if there is any grit, just like it may like flicker out. Just clean off the residue from that. And as it says there, just roll it along. And then your bearing should be, well, good as new basically. To put the bearing shields back on, you just put it on and they should just pop on like so. If they don't pop on, there's obviously something wrong. You've obviously dented them or something like that, so you have to be very cautious. Right, that's basically your bearing done. Give it a little bit more of that, and then place it back in to the wheel like that. Put your spacer in, then your other bearing, and then place it back onto your wheel, like so. A typical example there, the spacer in the middle tipped over. Basically, you just gotta take the bearing off and then do it again. And finally, to finish off, you put your bearing back on with your spacer, and you put your bolt on and twist it clockwise to tighten the bolt. So it's been completed. Your wheel should spin a lot better. My wheel spun shockingly there, but it will. If it doesn't give you that like performance, then just give it a little bit of a ride around and it should just kind of wear in. This has been Born Northeast. I hope you enjoyed our video. Please like, subscribe, and if you want, leave a comment. Thanks for watching.